What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Breaking the Iceberg. If you're tuning in with us today, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the podcast where we will explore the silliest icebreaker questions you've never heard before. I can promise you that. If you want to hear about how to climb down a buttery cell tower while holding a live lobster, tune into last week's episode. You can find that on the YouTube page itself. Everything's posted on there. Also, please check us out at our Instagram. It's Breaking the Iceberg. You can find us there. Give us a follow. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Anything like that helps us out. Well, this week we've got a couple updates, which is pretty exciting. For one, we got Sam, a.k.a. Sag, on with us this week.
Sam squared.
Same squared. Yeah, we got too many Sams in the house tonight. We'll have to duke it out after this. But yeah, so Sam will be on. He'll be answering the questions just like my previous guests have. If this is your first time with us, we answer silly icebreaker questions. The idea is just to get people talking, to have fun with it. If you're a youth group leader, a parent just trying to have fun dinner conversations, maybe you're just looking to have a late night conversation with the boys, these are the type of questions which will be perfect for you. So tune in for that. Before we get going, just a couple announcements. As it is episode 3, we have a couple updates which are pretty exciting. For one, we have the chat actually out live for me and Sag both to look at. We've got a TV behind us now, so we can actually interact with you guys while we go. So if you guys have comments as we ask the questions, please feel free to jump in there. It's been a joy to see your guys' comments in the past, and I can't wait to see them tonight. So feel free to send them in there. We will try to interact with what we see that pops up there if it's applicable. So that's one update too. Obviously the setup is a little different. So we've got this kind of split screen thing going now. We're trying this out. We've got some lighting with us, which I don't really know what I'm doing with the lighting. So bear with me there, but hopefully this is a better viewing experience for you guys. With all that said as an intro, I think we're ready to jump in. Has you got anything to add there, Sag?
I mean, I'll piggyback. I've used these questions at my late night work. You know, it's like 3 a.m. I'm night shift as a nurse. You know, sometimes it lulls and like these questions hit. Man, I'm saying like I'm gonna be using some of these in the future.
That's good to hear, Sag. I'm glad to hear there's some real world application.
Yes.
You might say
outside the podcast. Yeah.
Well, hopefully tonight there will be some conversation stirred among maybe your coworkers or family, friends back home.
Some might be checking in and they're going to be asking me about these. So yeah,
that's what I'm hoping, dude. Right now we've got 2 concurrent viewers, which shout out to you guys.
Oh, Kai.
Kai's in the podcast right now. Kai, I better see you active in that chat, bro. I appreciate you being on. I do not know who that other viewer is, but shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in on time. If you're coming in late, you may want to just rewind to catch the beginning of the question because you might get a little bit lost in the can't think of in the bushes. I don't know what you'd say. Well, it's a little bit crazy once we start to get into stuff. So with that said, Sag, are you ready for the first question?
Never been more ready in my life.
All right, let's get it. All right, let me you know what? No, I'm just gonna go on the fly. All right, so for the previous questions that I've been working with, I've been trying to like weave a narrative into them a little bit, which sometimes it works. And I'm going to try and put a narrative into this question, but I'm going to be honest, it just doesn't really work as a narrative, but we'll run with it. All right. Okay. So you work at the zoo and you love your job at the zoo. Okay. You absolutely love it. You can't imagine yourself losing this job. It pays well. It's everything to you. All right. There was a criminal who was a zoo criminal. He took several zoo animals from your zoo and he scattered them among different grocery stores. Okay. So now your boss gives you the task. He says, Sag, I need you to go to one of these grocery stores that he has scattered animals in. And you need to collect and return to the zoo all those animals in the time frame of a week. All right. You have a bus for transportation, a school bus. Okay. You live 50 miles away from this grocery store, and you can choose one of 3 grocery stores. Okay. All the grocery stores are the same. We'll say for the sake of the podcast, for those listening, we'll say it's like a Meijer or something like that. Your typical grocery store. The reason I say there's 3 different grocery stores is that you have to choose between 3 options. One of the grocery stores has 100 rabbits. You can choose that one. One of the grocery stores has 10 giraffes. and the other grocery store has one lion. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
You need to go into the grocery store, collect all the animals from that grocery store, and then bring them back via the bus to the zoo. But in addition to that, you get to choose one of the 3 grocery stores you're going to do. And you also have to take one penalty along with that. For whatever reason, your boss wants to test your abilities as a zookeeper. And so he needs you to take one of these 3 penalties. So you get to choose which animal set do I choose and which penalty do I take. Here are the 3 penalties. Penalty 1, a skateboard is hot glued to your shoe. Okay?
Singular shoe.
Singular shoe. You cannot take off your shoes, though. You must keep them on if you pick that option. Number 2, the lights in the grocery store are off. All right?
I know what I'm not choosing. All right.
You haven't heard option 3 yet. Number 3, the sound of a firecracker goes off at your direct location once per minute. So a loud, like, firecracker pop.
Just the sound.
Just the sound. Yeah, you don't have to worry about an explosion. Yes, once every minute. So just to wrap things up there's a lot going on with that one, chat. So hang in. There's 3 options you can choose from for the animals, 3 options you can choose from for the penalties. The question is, which of the 2 would you pick? Which penalty, which animal option? Could you do it in the time frame your boss is asking you to in order to save your job? Would you accept the challenge?
Okay, first off, I don't know how criminal steals 100 rabbits from the zoo and puts them in the grocery store.
He's a mastermind, bro.
or the giraffe. I mean, man. Oh. I'm going to start by saying I will not be choosing In the Dark with the Lion because that just sounds like
you're dead.
I'm dead.
There's no way around that.
No.
Yeah.
No, but oh man. My first, man, wow. You really put me on the spot with that one. I'm going to say
you can take your time, There's no rush.
I know. I got to think it through. I think this is a very careful decision. I think In the Dark with rabbits, they're too small. It's going to be a hard time finding 100 rabbits.
Yeah, and like we're talking a grocery store here, so I think like they could hide behind the cereal boxes. They could hide behind. There's so many nooks and
crannies. They could be eating into things and getting in bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the 100 rabbits. Not in the dark. Firecrackers are going to scare them away. I feel like my initial inclination, which I feel like I got to talk through the options here, but my initial inclination, 100 rabbits, skateboard.
Okay.
I think I could do it in less than a week. I think I'd have, because I love this job. You said I love this job.
You love it.
I'm dedicating my week to this.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is to save.
Sorry to the wife. Sorry to that. All of my cats.
Yeah.
Whatever the 2 cats I have in the Suki and Rue. My apologies, but I got some rabbits or lions or giraffes to find. So I'm dedicating 16 hours. I probably eat in the store, so I don't have to worry about all this.
Sure.
Is the store closed down?
I'm gonna say the store is closed down, and not only that. The local grocery store says you have free reign on anything in the store. So you can eat their food. You can use equipment in the store if you want to use equipment to try and capture things. I don't know if that would help you capture a lion or whatnot. But
can I cause damage to the store? Because if I'm going the lion route, I might have to be, there might be some collateral.
Yeah. I'm going to say, no, you can't cause damage to the store, but I'm going to say if an animal is the one that causes the damage, you're not going to be charged.
I only asked because if I had to go the lion route, I think I would back the bus through the store, open up, the emergency on the back door. Yeah. I'd open that thing up and somehow have to crawl it to jump into the bus. Now, granted, I think I would probably build some barrier between me and the rest of the bus so he can't come up to me as I'm driving away.
Okay.
That's the only way I'm getting the lion.
Okay, so I will say you can do any of that. You can alter any of the bus too if you want to build something like that. But you have to do that all in the 1 week time frame.
That does make it a little more, yeah. But I guess my issue is I'm backing the bus through the wall of the grocery store, because there's no way I can't corral the lion, through outside the door and then somehow into a door that's
Well, if you went for the lion one, what if you trailed some steaks or something like that into the back of the van?
Okay, now you're helping. Okay, not bad. I still think it's too dangerous. I'm not risking. That's a risk your life kind of situation.
100%. I'm with you. No lion. Lion is just a no-go.
Can't do the lion.
Yeah. So go back, because I feel like you were onto the rabbits, right?
Okay.
Is that? I mean, is that what? Just gut instinct? Is that what you'd pick, or is it still kind of up in the air?
I think gut instinct is still. I'm still having the the situation of getting the giraffes into the bus. I was like, giraffes don't. There's only 10 of them. You're easily gonna be able to spot them. There's no hide and seek with giraffes.
Unless they're in the dark.
Honestly, out of the dark, I could probably still do giraffe. I just the firecrackers is too much for the bunnies. I think. Oh man, you're making good sense here.
Yeah. So okay. So what are you leaning towards now?
Again, you don't have to play hide and seek with the giraffes. It's easy to find them, especially nobody in the store. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But getting them into the bus, they're not going to fit. So I have to saw off the top of the bus. I have to go find some welder or some person to saw off the top of the bus, and then still not get pulled over by a cop on the way back to the zoo. 50 miles on the way back to the zoo.
Yeah. And what if you go over like one of those like on the highway where like it says like 13 feet, you can't go over that part.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? You cannot kill any of the animals as part of the question. I didn't throw that in there, but I'm putting that
I
in
would suspect. I love my job. I love the animals. I can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Also, Kai, I'm with you. Giraffe's presence.
Chat's saying you can feel a giraffe's presence in the dark.
They bring an aura to the rest of the store there, the grocery store. I think rabbits, and then it's going to be a hunt. It's going to be a real hunt. I think that one might come down to the neck of it to the end of the week.
So talk to me about the rabbits. You're saying you could get the rabbits if you had a skateboard hot glued to your foot.
Yes.
You could collect 100
I
rabbits.
think so. I think I'd do kind of a herding technique.
Explain it.
I think I'd pull the bus. Actually, the bus doesn't matter location-wise. I think I'd probably have to get animal crates from the pet store section, get like a dog crate or something like that, and corner them, like skate and like make noises or something like that, bang pots and corner them into a section.
Okay.
Fishnet, one hand, maybe even both hands, honestly, and just like as I'm skating through, just scooping up rabbits.
You're in a cowboy lasso.
I'll probably get. I think with that, I could probably knock off 60 to 70 rabbits in the first 2 days.
Okay. So I think that might be a stretch personally, but let me say for a second that you could get that.
Okay.
I mean, then you're still leaving. Let's say you have 20 rabbits left in the grocery store.
All right.
I feel like those last 20 could be hard. Like you're talking about grouping them, but
Sure.
There has to be some stragglers where they're like tucked behind something that, I mean, if there was one rabbit in a grocery store left, how long do you think it would take you to find one rabbit?
That's fair. And what's the consequence? Am I just losing my job here if I can't complete this task?
Yes, but you love your job, Saj. You love it, and you get paid well, and you will do anything to not lose your job in this scenario.
Okay, that's fair.
Except maybe die. You don't. That's the lion thing is fair. I wouldn't go against the lion either.
I don't think it's worth. But yeah, that's just not worth the risk. The lion and the giraffes, you know where they are. The bunnies that is the key issue, is trying to figure out where the last couple like little fronts are. But
yeah.
I think there's got to be some strategy of traps and food traps. I think by day 3 or 4, I'd spend most of my time making food traps out of like the pet store area.
Okay.
Trying to set up, like the raccoons when they go in, knock the stick down, they get trapped. Try to come up with something like that. And then hopefully during the time, I got to sleep my 8 hours. During the time I'm either not there or while I'm in another part of the store, they wander into those traps. I think there's no guarantee with the rabbits. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you never guaranteed to find them all.
Yeah, but then the giraffe is like, you're guaranteed to find them, but are you guaranteed to put them on the bus?
Do you think you could put a giraffe horizontally on the bus?
Not 10 of them. Not 10 of them.
I got a whole week to transport them.
Sure.
And I know where they are. So I'm honestly, my initial inclination was rabbits, but I'm leaning more towards giraffes.
I feel like if you did that with a giraffe, if you put a giraffe horizontally on a bus, you'd need to remove the seats. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes.
So how would you do that in the week? Like,
can I hire out work?
I'm going to say no.
That checks out. I think, aren't they just bolted in with like little, I just take a automatic, pull them out.
You could probably get that in a store.
That'd probably take like 8 hours to take out the seats. But if I'm going giraffes, like if that's the route I'm going, I think that's the only way you're getting them in the bus.
So then you do 2 giraffes a day for the rest of the week.
But I think that's fair. You have 1 day extra to kind of, figure it out at the end.
So talk to me specifics of how
they can fit me.
Guys saying they can fit in the
I
aisle.
don't know the last time Kai went to a zoo, but we both went to San Diego Zoo a couple weeks ago, and those giraffes would not fit
Way
in the
too
aisle.
big. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Unless we're talking baby giraffes, but I don't think
we're
that's...
talking full size
talking
in
full
this
size.
scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, mature.
You think they're
giraffe.
having a problem meandering through the store with their tall height?
I feel like maybe in some sections, but on the whole, they're probably
Like,
being
I
shamed.
worry that I'm gonna like try to bring them through, and they're gonna like clonk their head
Right.
on like that. Maybe not, concussed, something like that from the rafters. Or,
Yeah,
but
we'll say in this scenario, Sag, you don't have to worry about
okay,
that.
all right.
Yeah, they're okay.
Oh, Kai
But
was
okay.
that one on Thursday. All right. All right. My bad. Sorry.
He
I
knows.
didn't know. Yeah.
He knows. The chat knows. Don't question the chat. So, okay. Talk to me about the specifics. How would you stick a giraffe horizontally in a bus?
I think there's medications at the store.
You're gonna drug the giraffes?
You said they can't die. You didn't say
Yeah.
we can drug the giraffes.
That's fair. Yeah.
Also, we got my Tyler checking in here saying that they're all wrong answers. I'd love to hear his opinion on whether the line is the way to go, but I feel like it's rabbits or giraffes. And going back to you, I think drugging them. So I'd have to think of some medications here. How to get them to take the drugs? Probably mix it in some food, get them to eat it. And I only have to do like 1 or 2 a day, so I only have to drug 1 or 2 a day, and then rope from like the outdoor section. They kind of get a little sleepy. Do the giraffes sleep standing up? That's something I need.
I think they like kind of sit down, but I'm not confident.
Okay.
They definitely don't lay down like you're picturing them laying on a bus. They kind
I
of
don't
sit
picture
down.
them laying horizontally necessarily, but
Yeah, I think they kind of like. Actually, I actually shouldn't even
'Cause I
speak
feel-
on this because I have no idea, chat. I don't know what
I
I'm
feel like
talking
that's
about.
also crucial. Because the other thought, instead of the daytime, going in at night, kind of like a night mission. It'll be darker in the store, but I can always turn lights on as needed, or I find a giraffe that's a little more asleep than the others. Then I can avoid the drugs, but I'd still have to figure out a way to drag said giraffe onto. That's a heavy giraffe. Now we're talking about the question of getting it onto the bus. And
Yeah, it's hard. I don't think I think logically speaking, it'd be hard. I don't think you've provided me a solid answer yet.
mean,
Like,
giraffes
yeah, I
weigh
could
what?
do that.
500 pounds,
It's
1,000
gotta
pounds.
be. It's gotta be. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not lifting that. I'm
Chat, you want to answer how much giraffe weighs? That would help us out maybe a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't imagine. I mean, even if you take the low end of that, a couple 100 pounds, I don't know how you're lifting that horizontally onto a bus.
See, now I'm leaning away from giraffe. But
Yeah.
bunnies, you're just not going to be able to find the 90th, 99th,
Yeah.
100th. That's... Do you... And now I'm wondering, do I need to end up taking the lion and just risking it? Because
It's just one
it's
line.
just one. I have a
It's
whole
just one.
week.
And you
I
have a whole week. Yeah. You have the whole week to do it. And like you could, it's high risk, but high reward because you get to keep your job.
Yeah.
You could, do you think the meat trail thing has some plausibility to it? Like you can use the steaks in the store.
Yeah. I think that's a huge... I think... Assuming I can... I mean, even if I can't back the bus through the walls, the grocery... I mean, I understand there's...
Yeah, you can't do that.
But I think I could, set stakes out every couple feet and kind of lead it towards outside into the bus. Not
Sure.
touching the... this would be a not touching the lion kind of thing. Lead it into the bus as it's eating. If I can somehow manage for it to get up on it, because I'm not lifting the line up there either. Have some of the meat there. Have some medication to drug them for the ride, because it's a 50-mile ride. You
Yeah.
know, they're not gonna be happy. They're gonna be coming after me as the driver. So I'd either have to spend day 1 or 2 securing the driver's side from the lion, and then day 3, 4, 5 laying out the meat trail to the bus, and hopefully maybe somewhat encouraging it to go that way, like finding different ways to barricade off certain aisles, kind of cornering it without too much interaction, like knowing it's in one section, cornering off another, slowly pushing it towards the meat trail, and hopefully eventually it kind of makes its way onto the bus. I think
Honestly, Sag, of all the options, that sounds the most plausible. As bad as it
but
would
also
be
I'm
to
still
go
on a
the line.
skateboard with my foot tied. But I think that's still...
Yeah.
Do I have to while I'm building the cockpit bus driver section to protect myself? Am I also on my skateboard?
Everything's with the skateboard. That means driving.
Oh,
Do you think
gosh.
you could drive with the skateboard?
2,600 pounds for a giraffe. That solidifies that.
Oh
I
boy,
am not going
chat. Oh boy.
They can't sleep stand, but if they feel very safe, they can lie down. Okay. And you have the whole meat set. Okay, I think 2,600 pounds, not happening.
Okay.
That's just out of the question. Even if I lead them onto the bus to get them to lay down enough to they're not going to get on the bus because there's a top to the. That's just not.
Well,
no.
how are they getting off? I just can't-
Well, hey, whoa. I think my boss at that point, if I can get the animals to the zoo, they can take it over from there.
All right, I'll give you
I
that.
think
I'll
that's
give
not
you
my
that.
job anymore.
He's on the bus horizontal. I don't know how he got like that.
I drove
but...
the bus to the zoo. They're at the zoo. This is what you requested.
Okay.
Dang, I went from not choosing the lion, like no way, hindsight, don't want to lose my life. But if I love this job and I need to keep this job, I think it's lion and a meat trail.
All right. Okay. So if you had to lock in one answer, you'd go with that probably.
After talking this through, I think, I think talking it through, you just never, to reiterate, that those last 10 bunnies, 5 bunnies in a giant mire,
never.
You're not finding them. You're not.
Them. Yeah.
There's
I'm
gonna
with
be
you.
there's gonna be the bunnies that are stubborn enough to not want food from the traps. They're gonna be eating like the potato chips in the aisle 6, and
Sure.
you're gonna be like, I put out a nice carrot meal. They're gonna be going for the chips, and you're just not gonna get them. So,
Yeah.
giraffes, you're never gonna get them on the bus.
Yeah.
They're just, you see them, there's no chance. Lion, I think that's the risk you gotta take.
All right.
But-
all right. Well, thanks, Sedge. That's question 1 of this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Chat, we appreciate you guys helping out with some of these
Also,
specifics there.
We're up to 15. I saw 15 for a second.
Oh,
15
shoot.
viewers.
Sedge said if we got up to 20 viewers, so hear this out, chat. If we get up to 20 viewers, I owe Sedge a hot dog, apparently. So 7 more viewers. If you invite 7 friends
more
on.
friends. Yeah, 7 more friends to get on. Sam owes me a hot dog.
Yeah, I owe him a hot dog. So, hopefully you guys can hit that. But 13 is pretty good. We have only been up to 8, I think, is our max.
Oh,
so,
there we go.
Sedge, you're pulling the numbers this week. Thank you guys for pulling up.
It's also the image quality, the lighting.
Yeah, it's little advancements.
Yeah.
And we're building up some steam on Instagram. I'll just drop this in now while people are actually on. If you guys can, just give us a subscribe on our YouTube channel here. Go to our Instagram. You can follow us there. Give us likes. We love to see it. With that said, that is basically what a question is like. This is your first time experiencing that. That's basically what this podcast is all about. So that's what you're going to get. Usually we do 2 questions. At least the first 2 weeks we did 2 questions like that. I wanted to change it up for this second time to make it a little bit different. So we are going to do something I would like to call fast money. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you've seen like Family Feud, where they like quick give you the question and you just have to answer, that's going to be how this goes. So I'm going to give you 3 questions. They're going to be a little bit drawn out, but not nearly as drawn out as that one was.
Quite I think through there.
There's a lot going into that one. Those are usually how my questions go, but for the sake of just keeping things interesting, I'm going to give you 3 questions which are relatively going to be quick.
Okay.
I want you to kind of think on your feet, like you have maybe 5 seconds to answer the question. Okay. You don't necessarily have to stand by that answer when we go and talk it actually out. But the idea is just like, I want to see what your gut feeling is. Right. So I'll give you the 3 questions. I think they're all number answers.
Okay.
So you'll just answer it. We'll go to the next one. Answer it. I'll go to the next one. Answer it. I'll go to and then we'll kind of parse through each of them. Okay.
There's no right answer. It's completely opinionated.
100%. I'm not going to ask you like a math question.
This isn't like wits and wagers, how many pounds is a giraffe, and I said 500 and they're actually 2,600. Okay.
Yeah, nothing like that. It's all just like opinionated questions, but and of the same style as like what you've experienced so far.
Sweet.
Just a dumbed down version of it. So if you can handle that,
I'm ready. Yeah,
you can handle this.
Oh, it's just easy. Cream cheese.
Cream cheese. All right. This one I actually do want to pull up on the phone just so I get these questions right, because I wanna deliver them in a quick way to you. So give me 1 second here.
Well, while he's pulling those up, chat, we need some more. I don't know. Let's see. I like the 20 for the glizzy promo. I feel like that when you post on Instagram the next time, got to be 20 for the
20 for the glizzy.
I mean, we're going down. We're at 12 now instead of 13. We're going the wrong direction. Got to pull some strings, pull some people in.
I know, yeah. It's okay. We're starting a new segment.
I said the line. If I went the bunnies, we'd have more people out of the line.
I know. You started saying the line, and everyone was like, "No, you couldn't do that, bro."
Or I didn't go with the fun firecracker answer, But
yeah, we didn't even discuss that. That's okay. All right, here we go, chat. We are jumping into fast money. We're gonna do 3 quick questions with Sam Shydock. Here we go. Question number 1. Are you ready, Saj?
No, but we'll go for it.
All right, here we go. Here we go. You're given the task of hiding as many pancakes as possible in your best friend's bed. They have to sleep 1 night in that bed without noticing that there are any pancakes in the bed. How many pancakes could you hide without them noticing?
200.
Okay. Number 2. You are about to duel a giant tarantula in the Roman Colosseum. You have a sword and the ability to turn invisible for 10-second intervals. What is the maximum height in feet that the tarantula could be, and you would still win the duel?
Like how big it could be?
How big it could
How
be.
big it could be and still win the duel. 40 feet.
What? That's crazy. Okay. And the last one here. You have an uncooked spaghetti noodle. Sorry, let me repeat this one here. You have an uncooked spaghetti noodle that grows 1 inch per day. If it breaks, you die.
Jeez.
How many days could you survive?
An inch a day?
An inch a day.
Probably like 10,000.
Whoa. Okay.
Bro, an inch? Oh, we can go,
right.
I might even go high. I might go like 20,000, 30,000, man.
All right. So we're going to, thank you. That was good, Saj. That was good.
Okay.
That was a quick little fast money.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might make it longer. We'll see how long this takes to actually parse through, but we'll do. We're going to start back at the first question here.
All right.
So the question was, you're given the task of hiding as many pancakes as possible in your best friend's bed without them noticing. How many could you do and get away with? And you said 200.
All right. Let me break this down. My first, I mean, obviously this is, right off the noggin.
100%, yeah.
Maybe I'm cheating the question a little bit, but you've got the mattress thing on the bottom and then the mattress.
Yeah.
In between, I'm stuffing at least 100.
So I'm going to say
150.
I meant to clarify that, but
Okay.
just with the quick nature of it, I didn't.
Okay.
I was going to say you cannot stick any underneath the mattress.
I still think I could get to 200.
Wow. Okay, so
still
talk numbers.
So now I'm talking. So it also depends on the orientation of the bed.
Wait, what?
Hear me out. No. Hear me out. If the bed is, kind of like the in the middle room, kind of up against the middle of the wall, that's a
okay.
problem. That's a
Okay.
problem. It's hard to hide.
Okay.
If it's against the corner, you got the long side and edge. I'm stuffing them right in that like outer pocket
against the
section,
wall, yeah.
against the wall section. Maybe even a couple like underneath where the pillow would go, as long as they're not like the sleepers. I tend to put my hands underneath my pillow sometimes when I sleep. That's gonna be a problem. But I think around the bed I could fit at least 100. I mean,
Wow,
you're only
okay.
talking like 4 or 5 inch pancake diameters.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna feel it on the outside.
But 100 of those,
and then you kind of
fill in the whole bed.
Also, it depends if it's a long night for him. He might just cash out, not realize.
Your bank account of having a rough one.
What's the consequence? How many I can fit?
Yeah, it's just like a win or lose. Like
Win or lose, okay.
If it was a bigger question that I had drawn
Okay.
out, it would have been like a money value. Like if you could get X amount,
Okay,
you'd get
per
so many
pancake
dollars.
or something like
But
that.
yeah, per pancake.
Because obviously I could just say one pancake.
yeah, but that's no fun.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
could do more than that. Like I'm trying to really get at what you can
Now I might have to be sticking 200 pancakes in my best friend's bed.
get. Yeah, watch out.
So
out
watch
there.
out.
Watch out.
Future your best friend out there.
So if it was allowed, I will say this is allowed.
Okay.
You could like unzip the pillow and put some in the pillow. Would you go for that?
Yes.
Like
I
how
think- I
many?
think they're
Would you go
soft.
crazy on it?
In the pillow. I mean, if you're going pillow, I'm also going comforter. Because
Yeah.
sometimes no, exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
Which
Then
means
you
I
can
can
do way
more.
too much. Yeah.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be able to feel them in the comforter, but you're not going into bed thinking, oh, I wonder if I'm going to feel some pancakes in my bed tonight. Like,
But if you did over like 300-400, I feel like that blanket becomes a weighted blanket.
400. I didn't say 400. I said,
Yeah.
But you got to disperse them out. So again, some on the sides, some on the back front. I think in the pillow you could probably do 6, maybe 10 if you're ballsy.
Really? Okay.
Because I mean, if you think how big the pillow is, if you can stuff it in between the foam,
Yeah.
you're not
I
going
think
to
you
feel
could
the
do
shape.
more.
You think you do more?
Yeah, I think you
How
could do
many pancakes you put in your pillows?
I think I'd go like, well, my pillow that I use is really, really flat. So I would not get away with it. But I feel like a lot of
if it's
people,
an older pillow, it's squished down. You make it,
it's
fair.
riskier.
It's
But
fair.
a fluffy one, I mean,
Fluffy one, I'm
pancakes-
sticking 15.
Yeah.
20. You're right. But I feel like you gotta. I think the pillow is the probably the riskiest,
Okay.
because when you're laying in bed, you're not feeling down by your legs as much. You're not feeling like if there's pancakes in the comforter, who cares?
Yeah.
You're not feeling the specific pancake. But if you're sticking your hands in your pillow, oops, sorry, Mike.
Oh,
sorry,
you're
chat.
good. You're good. You're good.
Out there. But like, I mean, you're sticking your hands in your pillow. Your hands are there. Your face is right there. All the sensory. You might feel it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going comforter, side of bed mostly. If I need to get the extra, 3 to 4 to get to 200, sticking those last ones in the pillow.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. I'll give you that.
I see you seem to have quite a reaction when I said 200 initially.
I just like to react big to it. I don't know. I haven't thought about numbers of what I could do that one. I could probably do a couple hundred. I bet.
Yeah. I think 100 easy. 200 is like, I think I could, but there's
200,
risk. There's
200 no comforter or pillow.
Ooh,
impossible.
Well, who's sleeping with no pillow?
Yeah.
Okay. I think if there's no comforter, I am going to have to take the risk of the pillow with like 15 to 20 in the pillow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. That one's come to an end there. Okay, so let's draw it over to the second question. This one I actually think is absurd. So
okay. I mean, not that the other one was absurd either. But...
The other, no. I'm saying your answer is absurd.
My answer.
So
I have a corrected answer, but we'll go with it. Now that I have time to think about it.
We'll roll with it. Well, I mean, wait, are you saying for the second one that we're about to approach?
Is the second one the spider one, or is that the third one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, now that I've thought about it more, I would raise it up higher.
Wow. Okay, so let me pause. Let me reiterate the question for anybody who missed. So the question was, you are going into a duel into the Roman Colosseum against a giant tarantula. Mm-hmm. You have the ability...
We're at 20, by the way. You owe me all. Thank you, Joseph. My
shoot.
man. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, people.
We're at 20, which means officially I owe Sag
Sorry for
a hot dog. No, that was a deserved interruption.
Yes, Joseph. Yes.
Get that glizzy. He will be getting it.
If he ever has me back on the podcast, I will bring the glizzy to eat in front of the chat. I got you guys.
I'll have you for a return visit, and that'll be it, Sag.
I might owe these 20 people a glizzy at this point.
Wow, dude. I was not paying attention. Oh, it just went back down to 19.
Know.
But it
did hit 20.
It hit 20. So proud of you guys. That's actually huge. Our max was 8. Now we hit 20. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sag will be getting a glizzy at some point.
You guys are the best. Appreciate it.
Let's make sure we for sure reiterate it here just to get everybody on the same page. So the question was, you are in a duel 1v1 in the Roman Colosseum against a giant tarantula. You have the ability to turn invisible for 10-second intervals. What is the max height in feet that tarantula could be that you would still win the duel?
Yeah.
And you said
40
feet.
And
it's crazy.
Well, okay, hold on. So thought process.
Yeah.
I almost think the bigger it is, in a sense, it's almost like a curve. I think like 40 might actually be a bad number, but if I go higher, like 100, for it to get down and like, this brings me back to your like sheep question, where you're bringing a sheep down from Michigan all the way to Florida. The bigger the sheep is, the more caloric, it's gonna use up energy. It's also gonna be harder to see me because you're so far up, trying to like see little ants down there.
Yeah, but
like imagine walking in the grass and trying to find an ant and squish that exact ant.
So is your revised answer 100 feet?
Maybe, sure. I could go,
but think about it this way, Sag. I don't know if I said this in the question. Did I say you have a sword available as well?
Yeah. I do have a sword.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes it even easier. If I didn't have a sword, then it's got to be small. Then it's got to be.
Yeah. So, okay, but you have a sword against a 100-foot tarantula. You stabbing that thing is going to be like that thing getting a paper cut.
Yeah, but if I maybe like saw through part of a leg.
How big is the sword? You said 100-foot tarantula.
How big are the legs is also the question.
The legs are bigger than this. They're going to be like... I can't even. They're gonna be bigger than this room, bro.
Okay, all right. I digress. We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. We'll go with the 40 feet. We'll go with 40.
Okay, 40 feet. Still crazy. Still crazy. That's a 4-story thing.
Yes, but I get to turn invincible for 10 seconds intervals.
Invisible.
Yeah, invisible.
Yeah,
Sorry, not invincible.
Yeah,
invisible. Invincible would be pretty nice too. But invisible. I mean, I think the strategy is kind of chopping down the legs. I feel like that's in some movie or something. Just go like Legolas with the elephants in Lord of the Rings going around and just like slashing the back.
Honestly, I don't.
Or that wasn't Legolas. That was somebody else, and I can't remember her name. But slashing the elephant's legs, bringing them down.
I haven't.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall, Sam.
The bigger they are, the harder the legs are to chop off. So you'd like.
But I also think if you make them too small, like a 10-foot spider, more mobile, or like 8-foot spider, more mobile. They're gonna be like being able to dash around more easily.
More mobile.
I'm more worried it's gonna like be able to get around me. Whereas if it's big enough, I'm gonna have the edge of like
you're gonna be like under it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all it's got is a stinger, which it can only really like go one direction. Really.
A tarantula.
Tarantula. Yeah.
It's got like. I don't think it has like a stinger. What do you mean?
Well, its mouth. Well, it's got. thing at the back end, and then it's got its mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Those are the only two offensive things.
Sure. Sure.
Have you in Lord of the Rings? Going back to Lord of the Rings, Samwise Gamgee, sword, got Shelob, who's like 20 feet tall, 30 feet tall. He took her down.
Enlighten me here. Is this a spider?
This is a spider in Lord of the Rings. Man,
how big?
We got
is
to
it?
culture Sam. Chat.
Yeah.
Tell Sam he needs to watch Lord of the Rings.
Is this how big is it in the movies?
Like 20 feet.
Okay, so you're doubling that. It's just easy money.
Yeah, I mean, if he can do it, he can do it with a sword. Yeah,
He's a movie.
He can't go. He can't go invisible.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So you would like go invisible.
Yep.
Slice
You
a
can't
leg
see
off.
me. Yep.
Then I'm gonna say this is what I couldn't really clarify just for the time of the question, but I said 10-second intervals. I kind of hoped it would give the idea of like there's like a 10-second rest
10
period.
of like you're out. Yeah.
Like you can at least 10 seconds. You have to do that, and then you can trigger your
Yeah.
invisibility again.
Now I'm retracting my statement. That's getting scarier now. I'm starting to have arachnophobia now the more I talk about it.
I just feel like you're dead, dude.
Shelob is more than 6 feet. At least in the movies, she was more than 6 feet tall. No way.
See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. 6 feet is like, okay, that would be semi-reasonable. 40 feet is crazy.
All right.
bro.
10 feet. 10 feet. I'll retract.
10 feet is doable, I think.
Yeah. I still think, I don't know. There's that arachnophobia sense, like when they're smaller, I feel like I think of them more as a spider, where if they're just like a giant, I'm like, well.
So bigger the better.
Maybe it's complete opposite thinking. I don't know. Yeah.
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
That's fair.
We'll leave that one at that.
Hey, if that's my, I feel like, these are absurd questions. I feel like that's my absurd answer.
Fair. Yeah. I appreciate you playing the game.
What am I supposed to say? 3 feet? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, fine.
Play risky.
Yeah.
Play risky.
This is about, if I could I do it?
Yeah.
I think I could.
Okay. Respect. Respect.
I'm not saying I'm beating that spider 10 times out of 10.
Sure.
Like 40 feet tall. That's not I am going to die.
But more often than not, you win.
If we're going more often than not?
Well, that was kind of the question.
No, the question was, how big a spider could you defeat?
Yeah, but like if you were choosing the height, would you choose one?
And 1 foot tall. I mean, then I'm again.
Yeah, but you get.
Back and forth.
I got you, Sedge. We'll end it there. That was good.
All right,
I appreciate you playing that one out for me. Okay, the final question of this fast money was.
The noodle or the uncooked noodle. Oh, it's uncooked.
Yeah. I'm gonna spell it out again just for the crowd here,
shoot.
just so they're aware.
10,000 feet is not that's not happening.
So the question was, I'm going to give you, Sag, a spaghetti noodle that is uncooked, and if it breaks, you die. Every day it grows 1 inch long. How many days could you survive?
I'm definitely retracting my answer on this last one. I thought it was a cooked noodle for some reason. In my head, I'm picturing the wet, like I'll just.
So what's your revised answer then?
Revised answer. How many days?
Yeah.
I feel like, oh man. 100, 200?
100 days.
200?
Okay.
That's just so sad to think about. I'm like, there's got to be creative ways to keep the uncooked noodle from breaking.
I guess it doesn't matter what number you pick. You still have to come up with some kind of strategy. What would you like try and do?
In all honesty, I think you got to create a container for said. You don't want, I've got cats. I don't want my cat randomly going and biting it and them die. So you got to have like some security value, some safe or some. And so you either have to. My initial thought: 3D printer, keep like printing out sections to like wrap around the noodle as it grows.
Okay.
To keep it from breaking.
Okay, so you have like a giant pipe at the end.
Yeah,
kind
pipe,
of thing.
and then keep adding sections to the pipe, and then
that's
as
smart.
it's going.
Okay.
But like at some point, where do you put the pipe? I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting more creative. I think I can make it a year.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I think I can make it a year. I gotta find. I've got some friends in Iowa that live on the farms.
Okay.
Get on the farm. Be like, yo, I've got this noodle. Someone I gotta really trust. They're not gonna break the noodle on me. But
see you, Sad.
Or accident. Maybe can't pick someone clumsy either. Walk by, kick it.
Yeah.
But container pieces on a farm, I think you get pretty far.
Really? Okay.
Maybe even 2 years at that point, depending on how risky we're getting. But.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I didn't think about that. I thought about like putting in a field or something like that, but I didn't think about the protection element. You definitely would need something like.
You can't just stick it on a farm and let it grow. Like
yeah, the
coyote's gonna come by
too. I feel So would you like put caps on the end so like it's fully sealed in?
Probably. Caps that you can just take off.
Sure, and add another segment.
It would take me a couple of days or weeks as it's growing in my basement for me to figure out, how to design a tube system.
Sure, you have like a little bit of wiggle because for like probably a couple weeks you could keep it in your house
For a couple weeks.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But then you're kind of walking around like this, or it's this long.
Yeah. Oh, I keep it in my basement, basement. But the problem, well, that's the problem. You keep it too long in your basement, getting out of the basement.
Then you're screwed. If you wait too long,
then you have to tear down your house to get it out. And
yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can only wait like a couple weeks, then gets like 4 feet long, maybe.
4 feet, 5
Even
feet.
5 feet is like.
That's multiple weeks because you said it starts at a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4 feet, 4 times 12, that's what,
48.
48? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the chat for
So 48
math,
days,
4 times 12,
a month and a.
Send it to space. If
Actually,
I had the money, if I could convince Elon Musk to say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've got a spaghetti noodle. Can you just?" But then you risk any day. That's like a unknown factor. If it's just floating out in space, meteor. Gone.
But I feel like,
Gone.
Sag, I think you're underestimating how much space
Orbit?
is in space.
Yeah, but like we were sending so many satellites up there, it's gonna just get
I
clipped
don't
because it's
think
getting
it
bigger
is.
every day. You know,
It is.
I mean, at some
Eventually.
point, it's gonna be 500 feet long. It's gonna get clipped by something.
Yeah, but
Because it also doesn't have like ways to maneuver, and it's just floating there. And
what? It grows 30 feet a year, about, right? So 360 days.
yeah,
It's about 30 feet a
36
year.
feet.
No.
right? No,
Am I tripping?
I don't know.
12.
Hey, Chad, how many feet does it go?
We don't know math
Almost,
out
Chad.
here, guys.
How many years can I make it?
I think it grows like about 30 feet a year,
Okay.
roughly. Because 12, so 12 inches. Yeah, I think it would be about. Someone can check me on that if you want. I think so. I mean,
If I were to send, am I also invincible while said noodle is growing?
no.
So like I can still die by other ways.
Sure, yeah.
I think if I was invincible, I would make it my life goal to get this thing sent to space because I think that's the answer if you really want to live.
Do you think? I mean, even if you're not invincible, though,
But also, if you send it to space and you want to die in the future, you're like, man, I'm sick of, and then it's gonna.
then you're cooked.
Then you're cooked.
Yeah.
You better just hope. But
Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a bad take. I mean, because even the field thing, it's like you're gonna die in a year. But if you could get it to space, I feel like
you're good.
you're
Forever.
good.
You're good. Yeah. So if you can still die by natural ways, then I lean less towards the space route. Or no, I lean more towards the space route. More towards the space route.
Okay.
I think if it's like you're invincible until said thing breaks, space is a little scary. You know, you could be 600 years old and then.
Yeah. Well, no, you're not invincible. We're gonna.
That's what I'm saying.
sake of
That's
the
what I'm saying.
question,
So like, answer A, probably send it to space.
I got you.
If it was invincible, I would not send it to space.
Yeah, because then you run the
You're
too long.
You're gonna be Methuselah in the
I
Bible.
got
You know?
you.
You're gonna be beating records and not the ones you want to beat.
Okay. Respect. All right. So realistically, I mean, you probably would go for the space option. You'd go for the field.
I'd be hitting up my man Elon Musk. Yo, Elon,
You try
I
it.
need a noodle to. Got it. You have to. I feel like you have to.
But like,
this is your life.
is there any chance he's believing you? Dude, my life's on the line. If the spaghetti noodle breaks, I'm dead. There's no way that works.
Maybe you phrase it in a different way. I have a package I really need to send to space. Mark Rober sent a little satellite to space on a rocket. Maybe I can just package it in like some long tube that they can hook onto the said rocket. And then no, but hey, that's a thing. I could just send up that way. All right.
Okay.
But this is my life. You know.
Yeah, no.
A field, there's just so much risk.
I'm with
There's
you.
so much risk.
At the very least, you try the space
Yeah.
route.
You have to at least seek out that answer.
What
Yeah.
do you have to lose?
Your life.
You got to catch it early. You
Yeah.
know,
If I found out today, I'm emailing Musk today.
today.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. Respect.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, that wraps it up, Saj. Thanks for playing that with me there. That's
yeah.
fast money. We might be bringing that one, chat. If you guys like that, comment in the chat that you guys like that. If you like the normal drawn out questions a little bit better, let me know too. Either way, the feedback is fantastic. It just helps me grow. Like I said, if you guys get the chance, please give this video a like, give us a subscribe. Check out our Instagram, the YouTube.
There, I'm looking at the screen, probably right here.
Yeah,
right
somewhere
there.
over there. Yeah,
Right
Saj
there,
is
hit the
helping us
chat.
out there. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Saj, you really brought the chat out tonight. It looks
Yeah,
like we
we got
appreciate
them. We got
it.
them going. Hopefully, now that they have questions that they can ask their coworkers in the middle of the night at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
Just like I will probably pull these out now.
Exactly. That's the hope.
I'm gonna get if any of my coworkers are watching, I'm gonna get so much slack. They're gonna be like, "Bro, a 40-foot spider, you're insane."
There's no chance. I'm with them on that one. I'm
Yeah.
with them. I hope you guys berate Saj a little bit for that.
I
But
will be getting berated.
yeah, if the fan interaction comes through, we might have to have Saj back on again. So
Hey, more glizzies to have.
that's
If I
right.
get more.
Well, that is gonna have to happen for sure. So we'll make sure that happens. If you are new and you're just checking us out, we are kind of concluding the episode here, but I just want you to know the Instagram is really the main way to like keep track of when we go live and whatnot. I don't really run on like a consistent schedule yet. That's something we're kind of working on down the road. We'll try and put something in place. But for now, it's just kind of random pop up whenever I can get people like Sag out here to run up an episode. So just keep an eye on the Instagram if you're interested in tuning in again. If you have any suggestions for the show or opinions, reviews on the stuff today, comment it, reach out to us, DM us on Instagram. I'd love to hear the feedback. Again, this is episode 3, so there's a lot of stuff we have to work on. As you can see, the background is pretty bare. We're working with the lighting. We're working with the camera setup and all sorts of stuff.
I have to like get you like a logo on the background, you know, like a
That's
penguin, what you call it, iceberg thing.
Yeah, it's been suggested a couple times.
Yeah?
We might put that in.
Okay.
My sister suggested making AI covers for each of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
And she showed some from last week's episode. If you haven't checked that one out, we talk about a giant sheep the size of New York.
I gotta give Jack some flack on that last man. Both the sheep and the climbing on the pole. No way. Not like no shit. Rolling a 2 at most. I mean, with those options. But anyway, go watch. You have to go watch it to figure out what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Check out last week's episode to hear what Sag is about. I'm gonna have to talk to Jack, see what he thinks of
I
your
might have to talk to Jack.
That's right. That's right. Well,
Jack's gonna be saying like 100-foot spider, 200-foot spider. Don't give me.
I don't know about that.
He's a firefighter. He's like, God, break out the sword.
Well, we'll have to check back in. My goal is to have different guests on each week, but eventually we'll probably start duplicating some guests. So if there's some that you guys like, or if you guys are interested in coming on the show, reach out to me. I'd love to have different people on. And with that said, we are wrapping up our episode. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.